All right, Grings, thanks for joining us. All right, we're at the conference. Um, yeah, it's strange moods, area energies. It's like a swamp land. I guess it's a state park. It looks like more like a swamp, but I didn't go that deep into it. But always in that part, not of the watch, but that direction. There's a lot of reptilian energies, deep energies, not friendly. As you further go, I don't know what north and south is right in a moment, but it's that way or that way. It's further down, and yeah, just like there's agendas. It does feel like it's underground. Um, whereas maybe the things that some people don't want to tap into. um, I guess a lot of people just shut this stuff off. I completely understand why. It just feels unfriendly at night. It shouldn't feel that way. I mean, there's some places that are fine, but there's some places going in that direction that doesn't feel very welcoming. So there's some kind of, it does feel like there's like a reptilian base or something somewhere. I don't know if it's underground or it could be above ground too. We just don't see it. But either way, so we're here. Of course, it's about 11 o'clock over there. So yeah, there's now the reptilian energies that are here are connected to the Novak four. Oh yeah, the reason why I'm here to begin with, always at this time, there's no internet anywhere. This is the only place where I'm staying. There's no internet. There's just no internet. So like it's like not happening anywhere. So that's making things more complicated. So anyway, the background you have, they can do that way. Have a Coke machine in the background. I'd rather not do that. So yeah, the reptilian energies. There's different types of species here. It's like 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7. Some are aggressive, obviously, and not all of them are. But the ones that are aggressive, obviously, they want to make things difficult for everyone. Obviously, they're being controlled by other beings. Part of it's Orion groups, but there's others. But their Orion group is just basically part of their societies. So either way, there's agendas out. It's a thing. You wonder why the world. I mean, people already know this. Why the world is under control is there's all these different agendas, not just in the physical, but in the non-physical. And when you're a physical person, not believing in any of thing, I mean, oh, I'm skeptical of this and that's fine. But it can also shut you down from a lot of things that are true. So they don't know what to believe because they have to see it to believe it or experience it. And so, okay, we just won't let you experience it. So you won't know, you won't get in our way. So it's really complicated, but it is interesting how many want to, go in the spiritual direction, which is fine, but it has to be a physical. I mean, obviously we are physical, but when you go too far astral, many just aren't going to be there for you. Those that are very physically connected, they're just not going to go there. You connect to the astral stuff, and that's where the aliens are, and they're just not going to do it. So, not that I'm trying to preach any of that, but just the way it is. That's why they have trouble believing in channelings and all that. Not to say all channelings are 100%, but then again, sometimes they sway off so they don't get attacked and mentally screwed up or whatever it might be. Or there's of course NASA's involved with this on an astral level. NASA's obviously totally against us, obviously. At least on in a physical level, but definitely on a fourth dimensional level. That's nothing new, but there is a Nazi connection to that, obviously, on a fourth dimensional level. You can say it's all Nazi ruled on a fourth dimensional level. So, not that I was looking to tap into that. It just should have showed up. Due to connection, of course. There's even ape beings here that you can't see. So I don't know when the world's ready to see these things. I'm not sure when that's going to happen. They can manifest. Obviously, we have to shift our energy to see them. Obviously, many are shutting themselves down, but you can shift your vibration to see these beings that are here in the higher fourth dimension. So, just yeah, even in the physical, obviously, there's a lot of agendas here. And people are waiting for this ascension. You're going to wait a long time. I wouldn't be waiting for that. Yeah, it's not a good idea for that. Let's see here real quick. Okay. Let's close this out. Yeah, there's something that was going. Something that on the way here was pulling me that way, away from this place. It was very unusual. Even my GPS was being messed with. So, yeah, something was didn't feel right going in that direction. So, yeah, not that I want to explore it that deeply. Well, technically, I did to a certain level. There's this other thing. Not everybody, I guess, not everyone's going to detect it for obvious reasons. You might not want to see that's what's here. Obviously, seeing it's another story. You can't see anything. But it's definitely here. It's just agendas. It's government connected. Yeah, more of shadow government, obviously, fourth dimensional government. It does feel like it's above ground. We just don't see it. It's like in the middle of nowhere. It's nowhere. I mean, when you go that way, there's nothing anyway. But it's fourth dimensional. Anyway, I guess that's going to be eventually become more popular. Maybe not. Well, as you open up your third eye, it becomes more clear. SimonTone.com, our private sessions schedule. So you can schedule through during the conference, even if you're not at the conference. And we'll just leave it at that. Keep it short for tonight. So, yeah, just I don't know. I'm not sure if humanity is ready to see this stuff. Obviously not. I mean, I believe you can't manifest these things. At least on an energy level. It's so many. I feel like so many are pulling back, like it's too spooky. It is a little creepy, a little bit, but I mean, once you get over that, it's not a big deal. But not that they're showing themselves; they won't show themselves. We have to get to their level. They can, but mostly observing right now. So, all right. All right, we're connected to. Oh, that was the other thing. I felt a lot of Zeta energies here, and that came in the channel. Yes, definitely observing once again. I'm not sensing any real abduction energy, not now, but it definitely there's something around that goes on. So, what's happened to that? So, all right, we're going to I guess our Reptilian Collective to give it more perspective of that. Just a more perspective of what's happening here. Didn't know that connection, but this is a little bit different. So, you just gotta keep an open mind. If you're not, so many people have shut down the channeling energy, but that's mostly because they're more connected to being human and third dimension and all of that. They might be spiritually connected, but still into this whole human thing, which is fine. But you can also block yourself, which is fine because that's for their own protection. Not that anything's going to happen, but but basically we shut ourselves down to keep us human. So you can't go non-human if you allow it, but many of us are not doing it. It's like, how do you do that? Well, you just have a open mind, as open as they can get. That helps. And you're not shutting things down as many do. You just the more open you are, the more you'll get, and the more the fourth dimension will come through, and more you can heal quicker, faster, and just get on with all of this. But so many are shutting things down. It's difficult for that. So, well, you were warning, you could say. So, all right. Yeah. Okay. We head to the Reptilian Collective that's here, and wherever else. Maybe the Zeta frequency, just for the why not, just to get a perspective of that. From that. Well, it's in the boonies, but it's also just their frequencies are everywhere. Apparently, there's a cave over there where reptilians take people. Apparently, somewhere. Lovely. I don't think they're doing that anymore. I guess the word got out and they went somewhere else. But there is an energy for that for sure. So okay, all right. Blessings. Here we go. Greetings. We are the Reptilian Collective. We're not necessarily on Earth, but we are can give you perspectives of what's your the nature of your Earth. Yes, is being manipulated. Basically, your aliens hide behind nature. You say they build vortexes around themselves so you don't see them. So yes, there can easily be reptilian bases here easily, and they hide it through the eye. They hide it from the human eye. As you can see, the human eye, the physical eye, is built not to see beyond dimensions. I mean, yes, you have your third eye, and some can sense the vibrations, but for the most part, your human is pretty much downgraded due to galactic wars. So yeah, all your DNA and all of this has all been just this galactic mishaps. And the human's been shut down for various different reasons, and now you're reawakening. The reawakening is going to be, yes, very difficult actually. Well, because many have to leave their human self, their human belief systems, and go more galactic. They want to connect to the aliens, they like the little nice things that are out there, but they're not really accepting all. Some are, but many are not accepting what's really out there. They feel like, they, yes, hit a block. Well, because they don't want to go outside of their body, they don't want to lose all of this. But you're changing. The earth is changing. The earth is, you can say, in some ways, pushing humanity to know more about itself, at least a little more of a glimpse of what it has in the past. And many of you will, yes, receive an upgrade slowly if you're ready to basically see beyond this realm. But not everything's meant to be seen. A lot of it will be felt, as many of you are going through currently. You feel a great deal of deception, especially in some places in nature. Not all places in nature, but certain places. It's because a lot of the alien beings are hiding themselves. They have something to hide. It's like, wow, I feel really creeped out in this area. It's because somebody's there that doesn't want you there. And even the reptilian beings do manipulate Sasquatch beings. They can get into their minds and cause them to cause havoc or even be seen. So you can say Bigfoot's been kind of used by reptilian beings to, why, Bigfoot is seen as a target by many. When it's not that it should be a reptilian being, but obviously reptilians are extremely trickster beings, and your Bigfoot is for the most part here to help, but obviously they can't due to being hunted. So even the reptilian beings also have a boss. Actually, several bosses. Yeah, several agendas to keep your world locked down. But that's why many of you incarnate here to go through difficult incarnations to bring some kind of enlightenment here, even those that don't believe it. And someone will basically you're just a slow activation process with the human race. And that's all we can do. You drop in or incarnate in, you drop into this world, bring your knowledge here, the best of your ability, and you just it's like you sing as long as you can until somebody dances to it, and most won't. But it's basically the galactic knowledge channeling is just basically to shift the vibration of the Earth for you to go to know. Basically, yes, get comfortable with the alien frequencies that I heard. That are many. There are, yes, two-headed aliens and all kinds of creature beings out there. That, of course, your human race, yes, seems as entertainment, but obviously is surrounding your Earth currently. So, but some of you have enough daring to go to the next level and just to allow those experiences to come through. And because they do connect to you, they just, for some, I mean, you might have a Palladium being that's connected to you, but they might project themselves as a Palladium being, but there's somebody totally different. Like, that's not their natural. I mean, that might be one of their versions of themselves, but they have other versions of themselves that are a lot more complicated. And gradually it's like, wow, are you a creature being this whole time? And doesn't mean it's negative, but it's like that's what their original form is. Of course, you're coming from a human perspective, and that, of course, but then again, you do see reptilian energies, and you see them as creature beings. From, of course, a lot of reptilians see humans as creatures, so you can go around with that. So, of course, a lot of beings don't find humans all that attractive, and so on. But yeah, these tales will continue. So basically, these channelings, these galactic connections, are in a lot of ways seen as myth. And so the human race is ready to evolve from where it is. So you're basically bringing mythology here, galactic mythology. And so humanity wants to experience it. And that day will come. Now, as for when, is another story. Greetings. Oh, where are the Zetas? There are Zetas that do experimenting out in the woods in the middle of nowhere. Yes, usually on their ships, observing Earth's frequencies. So when you're connected to nature, you can also connect to an alien frequency easier because you don't have the buildings and all of the manipulations of a city to block you. So connecting to an alien energy through nature isn't really necessarily that difficult, but it can. It's not for everybody, of course. But some of you, yes, basically you're on a tree energy or some kind of frequency where you can just change your perspective of reality. So connected to alien energies in this part of the world, there is a lot of Pleiadian energies that are doing the best they can with human emotions because the emotions are causing a lot of difficulties here. Where many are taking a problem that's not a big deal and making it into a huge problem, that is something that's constantly happening on Earth, especially in the cities, because the cities are built to bounce off, for emotions to bounce off from each other, to cause more emotional turmoil, especially at your job, your workplace. Your workplaces are designed to be, toxic because it keeps the vibrations low. Eventually, the whole job situation will be healed. You'll graduate from that where you don't have to experience these things. But of course, you have to. It's like, why is this workplace even developed? Is it just to drive us all insane? I mean, yes, it might have a service for humanity, but is it really just to drive us all crazy? A lot of times, it's just built for that. On the surface, it looks like it's building a product or some kind of creation. But on the other hand, it has some other agenda there. But that's only when the human race goes more fourth-dimensionally to allow those knowledge of basically the origins of your job, your workplace, the origins of a city. Even a city has an agenda connected to it, especially like New York City, where it's basically telling the world what to do in some form. It doesn't always show it publicly, but behind the scenes, of course, London plays a role in that. Also, of course, many of your big cities, but New York, London, and actually Dubai, hidden. Dubai is very hidden. Of course, Saudi Arabia, but Dubai does most of it. like Saudi Arabia does a lot of manipulations, but it goes through Dubai, and Dubai kind of connects to the rest of the world for part of the world agenda. So basically, the world agenda is how to control the mind, as many of you see, and you see, done on so many different levels and art to it, and it's done very well. Of course, even those people that get frustrated by fake news and all of these things, it doesn't really matter. They're still putting their attention to it. As long as you put attention to the manipulations have won. When you just turn yourself away from the mainstream media, as many of you have, it doesn't really have that effect anymore. Obviously, it affects others, but it does kind of like it pulls people to the manipulations. It's kind of like a magnetic pulse, magnetizes you to, and people feel like they're growing, and they are to a certain level, but they're also causing more troubles for themselves than they need to. But as says Zeta frequent, there are Zetas that want to be humanoid. They don't necessarily want to go through your. Of course, they are humanoid, but the human experience altogether. But they don't want to go through all the difficulties they're going through. They want to connect to more of the innovation, the richness of it. But it's difficult to do that on this world because so much drama to put into it. So I actually want to invent something on this world, but it's difficult to do so when you have to do all the red tape, the drama, and the fines and the taxes and whatever it might be. They make doing anything not very much fun. Not as much as the reptilian frequency that's been built here. It's not all reptilian, but it is a reptilian agenda. Of course, there's other agendas behind that, but the reptilian agenda basically is to make everything as hard as possible for you to evolve. So, but if you connect more to the fourth dimension, you might be seen as an outcast and not part of society, but it is actually helping you grow and connect more to the spirit realm, basically. So you connect more to the fourth dimension, you go more into the spirit realm. Yes, it has its difficulties, but you are becoming more part of it. You become less physical. You see more of how the astral realm connects to the earth, and you don't have to go through the problems of the third dimension. Then you go through the problems of the fourth dimension instead. And obviously, human race is still having difficulties with that one. So many of you are slowly going more into the fourth dimension, and of course, the others are going faster to a certain level. But it's basically just allowing more of the non-physical to be understood more, because that's where all the aliens are. That's where everything can be easily seen, and that's where many of you are turning your minds towards. And how to do that is open up your mind more to the fourth dimensional knowledge. Even if it's so many find it, oh, that's untrustworthy, that's this and that. But you can eventually find what is trustworthy. But if you can't even take what's even trustworthy as trustworthy, then you're going to be stuck here for a long time. You just cut yourself off from the fourth dimension, and that's your choice. You have your choice to be a physical being or a non-physical being. So it's just like you want to smoke cigarettes or not smoke cigarettes. So, and someone is the smoke the reality of the third dimension, which is fine because that's the more popular. But as you become more or less, physical, as many of you allow more of the non-physical realms to become more well known. It might feel like you're talking, gibberish to humanity, but doesn't mean you have to say it out loud, obviously. But it's going to get harder for those that are going more into the higher dimensions because you have less and less people you can connect with. But eventually, others will see what you're putting out there, possibly. But many of you are stepping off this world, at least in a more higher dimensional aspect. And I believe you know who you are. It's not going to go quickly, but you're on that road towards it. Basically, the non-physical, once again, is not perfect. It has its issues, yes, but you embrace it all anyway. Doesn't mean you have to believe it all, but it just says, okay, that I'm not too sure about what I heard there, but I know I'm going more into a non-physical environment, and that's how you heal the third dimension here. Even the fourth dimension gets healed too, because the fourth dimensions they're having it today on this planet because they can do whatever they want, and the humans are just so blind to it. So that's what many of you are upgrading yourselves, so you don't have to have these problems here anymore. And yes, this might be a small portion of it, but it is working as you continue on.